Hello everybody and welcome to round number 19 of the Sunoco Elite Series. Season 2, we are here at Autodrome de Paris for 50 laps around this exciting oval, 1.5 mile oval. Last season, Lorenzo Log overtook Philip Scott, so the Filipino got his first career win. He's back here today, but he's not as high up as you would expect him to be. But on the pole today is going to be Roman Rahal for Red Stallion Racing, if I can get a good view. That'll work. On the pole is Roman Rahal for Red Stallion Racing. This is one of their only poles this season, so it's good to see them up front alongside James Constantine, the reigning champion, who hasn't been looking strong as of lately, and he's struggling to keep himself in contention. He needs to be able to keep himself in contention if he wants to win this championship, so he's got to finish good. In row 2, we have Eric Monaco, who was kicked off of WBM at the end of the season. He'll be moving to Clever Haas next season alongside Eugene de Max, getting one of his best starts in the 4th position, still looking for a ride. In row 3 is a pair of Fitzwater Australia racing cars, being PJ Karenko, moving to Trailblazer next season, but Carson Bowers will be staying with Fitzwater Australia Racing. In row 4, we have William Duncan, who has his own team at the end of the starting next season, but he's got to finish it out with Red Stallion Racing. He starts 7th alongside Max Anderson, who has been looking pretty strong today. And in row 5, we have Zach Smith, another Red Stallion Racing car, starting in 9th. Zach Smith hasn't had the best of season, and he's still looking for a ride alongside Sebastian Torres, which no news on where he's going to be signed to. You might be wondering where our other points contenders are. Well, they got buried in qualifying. Fitzwater and Jackson both near each other, but still have a long ways to go. They're one position away from each other. Lorenzo Log also down here, and William Brock, who's won the last 3 races in a row, starts also pretty far down the order, so if he wants to go 4 in a row, he has a lot of work to do, as we're about to go and line up for our starting lineup for our starting command to get underway here at Paris. And the engines are fired up as they're about to exit pit lane and begin their 50-lap journey to see who will win here at Paris. Other interesting lineups here. Annie Thomas got a decent qualifying. She's on row 7. Finn Guy and Shepard, soon to be teammates, on row 6. Both of them were seemingly very strong in practice. Not an amazing qualifying, but not a bad one either. All 4 Red Stallions in the top 12. So Red Stallion Racing could become a huge bet for this. Darren Weber is having a problem, so we will have to restack this start. So we will see you then and at the start of Autodrome de Paris. It seems like the pack is clean and we are ready to go green at Paris. It will be Roman Rahal leading them down to the green flag here at Paris for our second time around here at Paris, second to last race of the season. This is a do or die moment for some people in this championship. Green flag is out at Paris. You gotta watch 3 and 4, especially for those guys on the outside, because that wall in 3 and 4, the outside wall, is usually hit in the first lap. And ooh, scary between Monaco and Rahal. Lap 1. It's not what you want to see. Hopefully we don't see a wreck. Constance takes the lead because of it. Oh, lots of people. That's a lot more people than we expected to be in the wall. Usually it's about 1 or 2, but that was the whole outside line. No wrecks, so we are going to continue lap 2. First lap led by James Constantine, the 3rd in points and the reigning champion. Lots of action throughout the pack. Lots of contact. We're hoping for no wrecks. Caldwell got a horrible qualifying. He started in the rear. Horrible qualifying, and they decided to make a gearbox change as well, which is what put them in the rear. Fully, they were actually about 30th, and Angel back in the wall. They were about 30th, but they decided to go with a change of the gearbox to make sure that they are good, change of brakes. They changed a lot of things in that car, and it put them in the rear, but they were confident about that. Even though DeMax hit the wall in the start, he still was in 9th place. Very strong performance out of DeMax so far, as he got his best finish last time, which was a 7th at La Colina in Spain. Now he's in here at Paris. Right now battling for the 9th position with Andy Thomas challenging behind. Right now it's James Constantin has a 0.6 second lead over the Red Stallion car Roman Rahal. Roman Rahal has a win this season, came at Todd Ring, the season opener. I believe that was Red Stallion's only win this season, and they're still looking for a second one. Fun things going on. William Brock, because of the win streak he has, he now is tying James Constantin on the all-time win list, and next season he will have most wins among active drivers at 4. So William Brock this season went from 0 wins to 4 wins, and that could improve still. Brock in 19th at the moment. Weber in for some problems, as that wall streak can really mess with your car, really can get some tire revs going. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. Battling with William Brock, as those two are trying to bring their way to the front. It's an opposite reaction for Jackson. Jackson's been falling since the start of this race, and his race has not started well. He's hoping that he can get his way back to the front near the end of this race, but he's going to have to hope for a caution to save him. Franco is his last 2 races on rank A before he moves down to rank C with Trailblazer, which sucks for him, but he's got to just move with it. He's got to make these last few starts count for him. Duncan, obviously, even though Red Stallion going to C, he's still been staying in B with his own team now. Maverick GP was a rookie this season. Still fighting for Rookie of the Year, but I don't think he's going to get it. I think Pinocchio Young is most likely going to get Rookie of the Year. Even though he is 20th right now, Johan Art is in 30th. Andy Thomas in 10th, and Duncan in 4th. Those are the Rookie of the Year contenders as of now. Right now, it's all going to Pinocchio Young at the moment, as Carson Bowers is caught up to the back of William Duncan through 3 and 4. This is lap 10, as this race isn't amazingly long, but it's not that short either. It's still 50 laps. So, as now Constantin's starting to put a gap on Rahal, can he be the first person to get 5 wins, since he still does technically count as an active driver? He will go inactive after the season's end, but he's put up a valiant effort in going for his 5th win of his career. Roman Rahal 2nd. Monaco, one of his best finishes this season if he can hold on to a 3rd. But we're only a 5th through the race, so there's still lots of time to go. Here is your reigning Paris champion, Lorenzo Log, doing a lot better than he did in practice. As in practice, he wasn't that good. Right now, I believe he just made, Anderson tried to make the move on him, was not successful. Lorenzo Log currently sitting 12th on track, still has a lot of time to make up if he wants to win this race and go back-to-back here at Paris. As you look back for Jackson, he continues to fall, as it seems that Jackson is pit. No, Jackson has made up a lot of time, it seems. He's now up in the 24th position. So, Jackson now trying to just climb his way up. But right now, 24th, that's still a long ways to go. Yeah, 24th. But he's running faster laps than the people in front of him, so if he could catch up, the only person who's really faster than him, Scott Roush, is faster than him. Fitzwater, Torres is faster. Anderson's faster. And then it's all the way up to DeMax, who is running pretty nice laps, if I do say so myself. Constantin and Rahal still in the 26s as well, along with DeMax, as they're catching Jeffrey Finguy, who pit early. Not sure if it was a pit strategy or if it was a tire rub from scraping the wall, but Jeffrey Finguy was, I believe, involved in those people who did scrape the wall, so he's got a lot of time to make up. But now he's got James Constantine, reigning champion, right behind him. Won 3 races in the first season, has already had 1 win under his name this season, which came at Pikes Peak. Pikes Peak will not be returning next season, though. Finguy now fighting back. This could be an opportunity for Roman Rahal to catch up to the back of Constantine. As the times begin to show, 0.3 of a second caught that time. But still, it's a 4-second gap down to this pack back here. With DeMax bringing up the rear, still very strong out of Eugene DeMax today. And the move, William Duncan on Eric Monaco. Can he get the move done? If it's a success, he could try to bring himself to the front of the field, because now he'll have in front of Monaco, but Monaco now fighting back on the outside. Monaco has the advantage into turn 1. And Duncan runs it too low. He's going to lose his momentum, and people will drive around him. That means it'll move Karenko up into the... we'll move him up into the 4th position. It'll move Smith up into a top 5 position. I believe this will be Smith's 2nd top 5 of the season. Other one coming at Todd Ring, the season opener, where I believe he got 3rd. As now, Constantine has made the move on Finguy. The next lap traffic up is Adam Vincent for WBM. Another person who pit early. Then it's all the way up to Paulson, who's pulling 27.6s, so that's definitely a possibility you could catch, because 0.6 per lap. As we move back once again, we're going to move back and spy on Brock. The right now, just pulling a win streak, now at 3 in a row, going for his 4th. He's already made history as becoming the first to pull 3 in a row in the series, but he's not even close to the front, and there's not much hope for him to win the 4th in a row. Sadly, if Brock does not win this race, Brock will drop out of contention. Even with this huge comeback he's had going, it seems like it's not going to be successful. It's going to all be for naught. Bad luck for William Brock. Jackson has to really dig deep now, and he's got to hope that the pit stops really change something, because at the moment, there's not much going on with Jackson, as he does not seem fast. He seems much slower than everyone at the front, and it seems that at this pace, Jackson, he won't drop out of contention, but he's pretty much handing Fitzwater the championship as of now. Unless he's able to take most laps led, or someone else does. If someone else takes most laps led, that'll be a different story, but right now, Constantine is just not in that position. 50 laps is not enough to do it. As now Rahal's beginning to catch the back of Finguy. Constantine took a little while to deal with Finguy. Now it's up to Rahal to see what he can do. Red Stallion, he dives low. He's going to dive low immediately and try to make this move as quickly as possible, which is exactly what you want to do against these lap cars. But Finguy is not one to give up easily, as he is the team leader for Team Flame next season, so a lot of speed out of that guy. And as we continue to look through the pack, now Karenko trying to make the move on Monaco. Monaco still sticking in the podium position, as it seems that move's not going to be successful once again. DeMax is just chilling back here in 9th. He hasn't even attempted to reach up to the front, try to take a position. He's more just relaxing and trying to keep his 9th position under control, which is good for him. Any news on Jackson? No, he remains in the 24th position. The only hope left now is Constantine winning this race and going for a 2nd championship in a row, unless pit stops really change that much. But we are halfway through this race, and James Constantine has led every lap to this point. He seems very fast. He has the 3rd fastest lap on track behind Aiden Shepard and Carson Bowers. But Aiden Shepard is in 7th. He's not pulling amazing laps, but he's still pulling decent ones. And Carson Bowers, who is actually right behind him, who is also pulling some decent ones. Duncan back in the 4th position, still looking for a spot in Monaco. We've mentioned it before, back in Season 1 and even in the IMSA Elite Series, the original version, that using the outside line is definitely going to be a preferred line, but it's just so hard to make a move on the outside because you're going to be at a distinct disadvantage in the start of the corner. Ooh, Monaco jumps it low though, which just to block Duncan, which gives Duncan a little bit of an advantage out of the corner. He could make the move. Very close. He pushes him wide. That was a tap. Wow, and Duncan gets the move done easily. And Karenko's going to go by. That was his strategy, to tap him. Give him a little tap and then run. And that pushes William Duncan into the 3rd position. But if he wants to win this race for Red Stallion, he has a long way to go. And he's also got a Fitzwater car behind him. Rahal struggling with Finguy, as Konstantin now trying to move his way past, that's Cordell Paulson. Paulson's always been a nice back marker, but moving wide in this situation isn't going to help because the outside line is a much more prominent line. Instead of it being less dominant, it's actually more dominant. Konstantin in the pits. That'll be pit stops. They begin now. Konstantin in the pits. Just don't hit that pit wall. This track is notorious for having people hit that pit wall. Karenko is in as well. Annie Thomas is in. Torres is in. Rookie of the Year contender Young is in. Arndt still fighting with Jackson as they got past Mooney. How will this affect things? Pitting later or pitting earlier? That's always been the question this season. Rahal's in. Duncan's in. Monaco, Smith, Shepard, Bowers to Max. Is anyone going to even try to stay out? Yes. Fitzwater in a log. Would you look at that? Lorenzo Log. He'll move to Epic Motorsports next season, but he is the reigning champion at this track. There is Konstantin. As it seems there was only 2 people. There is Weber as well, but Weber has already pit near the beginning of the race, so he has a few more laps to go before he actually needs to pit. This should be the lap, and yes, they are both in. It'll be Fitzwater and Lorenzo Log. Lorenzo Log a little too close for comfort, but he's going to get lower than that pit wall just barely. Like I said, this track is notorious for watching people hit that pit wall. It's happened, and I believe in both races that we've done here. There's Rahal. That's the move. But Duncan, very, very fast in the pits. He is now on the back of his teammate. I believe actually Rahal got a bad pit. And that's going to cause James Konstantin to begin to run. Here's where it begins. They got to hope, yeah, no, he's going to pass him easily. There he goes, and Konstantin officially has the lead back in his possession. James Konstantin absolutely dominant today. But now he's going to start getting buried in lap traffic. This is going to be where things change, maybe. But these guys are even more buried. It's Roman Rahal, PJ Karenko now in 3rd. Duncan in 4th. What happened to Eric Monaco? Monaco's still in the pits, so there was a problem with Monaco. He's going to have to drop lower than he expected, and that's pretty much it for Eric Monaco's day. That does help Paul Jackson, because that's another spot. That should be 23rd. He still has a long way to go. Mooney is why. Mooney actually moved up the order a little bit through that pit cycle and moved up to 19th. So Rob Mooney, pretty strong actually here today. He's going to be leading Money Motorsports with some funds that he has. Ranked D team, so he's a long way to go. He'll need a lot of sponsorship help. But Jackson begins to struggle even more as he knows that his championship is slipping away. Here's Caldwell, started dead last. Because of that, he didn't make up much position, because Paris is not a place where making position is very prominent. And he's in 24th at the moment. Long ways to go. And there's Constant making the move on Hans Windhelm, the lap car. That puts 29th a lap down. Unlike what you would see in a pit stop, in a race with a pit stop being a lot more prominent, he's actually put all these people down a lap down because of his own driving skill. James Constantine, definitely one of the best out here. And he definitely likes his speedways. Even though he has won at 2 road courses, he's won at 2 speedways as well, and he's dominating here. This would be his 3rd speedway win. Which he won speedways at Pikes Peak and Homestead Miami Speedway. This would be adding Paris to his resume. But, whoa! That's Rob Mooney around! And Jackson's involved! And Jackson will drop out of the race! Oh, lots of people getting involved now. People jumping low to avoid this. And that is it for Paul Jackson's day and possibly his championship. He just threw it away. Constantine will lead it to the caution. This is not what Constantine wanted. He wanted this to go caution free, because if it did, he would have dominated this race. Now, things are changing. And things are changing fast. What happened? So here's what happened to Rob Mooney, is Rob Mooney would be breaking down, I believe. And he'd get clipped by Jackson. Jackson into the wall. Jackson, just miscommunication there. And because of Jackson, he'd get clipped by Josh Trainer. Oh my god, those two are great friends. Then you get clipped by Hans Windhelm. Then Ryan Monaco. All 4 of them would get involved. I believe they would be the only 4 people involved in that incident. Everyone else would have the good avoiding skills that you need in this race. But bad luck for Paul Jackson, and that may be his championship coming to an end. We'll be back. So again, we've talked about something like this in the past. Yes, Jackson did drop out, but we talked about something like this in the past. It's called a quick restart, where none of lap cars line down on the inside because they don't want to stall the restart more than they need to, especially because we're getting to the end of the race. They only do this near the end of the race in the last 10 laps, and because we're in the last 10 laps, we are doing a quick restart. James Constantine has a 1.25 second lead at the start over Rahal. Then it's Karenko a few spots down there, so it looks like it's only going to be between the top 2, if at all. It looks like maybe James Constantine may be moving to his 5th career win. It'll be James Constantine leading him down for possibly the final restart of the day. Green flag is out one more time here at Paris, and James Constantine's championship may not be over. Karenko making moves. He wants to get to Rahal and be able to make that move. Last thing that we do quick restarts because the last thing we want is to end under caution, so this gives more space for more cautions if it comes down to it. People moving wide now, letting our leaders by. This puts Rahal in a position to try to catch. If Torres ends up catching the back of Constantine, that could change everything. Could Roman Rahal get win number 3? Aired contact. Oh, there's a pack back here. We're still green, but there's a huge pack here, which could cause another caution if they're not careful. Here is Sebastian Torres, his teammate. He doesn't want to cost his teammate a win, but he doesn't want to end a lap down. That's not what you usually want. What is Torres going to do? Is he going to help his teammate? It looks like he's trying to help his teammate by maybe even blocking Rahal. This could be Constantine's winning chance, as we only have a few more to go. 6 laps to go for James Constantine, and he will win race number 5 of his career in 2 seasons. That's incredible. And other people throughout the pack now are starting to make moves. Karenko now in 3rd position. The 5th position is occupied by Smith. 6th occupied by Thomas. as DeMax has begun to drop. He's still down in the 14th position, but because of all this chaos, Fitzwater is beginning to drop, and this is helping Jackson's championship, because the more that Fitzwater drops, the more points that Jackson, or the less points Jackson loses from this. And he wants to lose the least amount of points that he can. And Caldwell, even though he started dead last and before the caution, he had been pretty far down. Now he's starting to make moves. He's really close. Very impressive. But now, we are there. Torres has made a move that impedes Constantine's progress. And Rahal begins to catch. 3 laps to go for James Constantine, and he will win and put Paris in the books as another race he has won. But because he dove low on Torres, this is closing Rahal. Rahal going for his 3rd career win. Coming down to 2 laps to go, and the gap is less than 0.5 of a second. 2 to go here at Paris. Before we move to Abu Dhabi, can Constantine get it done and win and keep himself in contention, keep himself alive? As it's coming down to the white flag, it looks like Rahal isn't going to be able to file a challenge. 1 lap to go for James Constantine, the reigning champion. He has dominated all 50 laps of this race. He has led all 50 laps of this race. And now, coming down the backstretch for the final time at Paris, into 3 and 4. And dominating the entire race, start to finish, he'll earn the full 120 points. And James Constantine will take the round of Paris. He wins in France. Rahal tried to file a challenge. It came down to 0.25. And coming to the line, William Duncan at the caution. What happened at the caution? This is coming just a few laps to go, as it would be Arndt getting clipped by Vincent and going into Finn Guy. Finn Guy would go around. That would cause the caution that would end the race. But James Constantine had the win under his belt nonetheless. James Constantine will go to victory lane for his 5th time in the Sunoco Elite Series and possibly his final time. Congratulations to James Constantine, as he will win. As here's that replay of coming to the line. He wins it at Paris. As we look through the pack, this may have been the end for Paul Jackson's championship. Fitzwater ends up 12th, gains a lot of points, and that could be it for Paul Jackson. Let's go look at your finishing results here at Paris. So James Constantine takes it away here at Paris. Roman Rahal will finish in the 2nd position. Very good performance. I believe that's his 2nd best performance he's had. William Duncan 3rd for Red Stallion. Annie Thomas takes away one of her best finishes in 4th. PJ Karenko, Max Anderson, 2 Fitzwater cars, 5th and 6th. Another Red Stallion car in 7th. Carson Bowers 8th. Nick Pericles in 9th. And William Brock ends his win streak in 10th, and he will move out of contention. In Shepard ends up 11th. All 4 Red Stallions finish in the top 11. Great run out of them. But it's Constantine's day here, his final time at Paris, and he wins it. Congratulations, James Constantine. We'll go look at your points in just a moment going to Paris, and we'll see who is still in contention for all this. We'll be back. Alright, guys, here's the points positions out of Paris, and through that interesting turn of events, Paul Jackson lost most laps counted to Zachary Fitzwater Sr. Because of that, he gained an extra 100 points going into Yas Marina. And because of that, James Constantine is the only man left to challenge Fitzwater, and he has 11 points to spare. He needed to be within 120 points, which he is, so James Constantine could very well win this championship, but it is a long shot. Because he doesn't have 11 points to spare. He has less than that. He has 6 points to spare because the pole position does not go to anyone. Or it will go to Fitzwater. And that'll be the extra points Fitzwater, which will improve it to 114. Meaning, yeah, if Fitzwater leads a lap, he will win the championship. He will pretty much seal Constantine's fate for second place. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. has pretty much guaranteed his championship at the moment. There is probably, at the moment, Zachary Fitzwater probably has a 95% chance of winning this championship. Constantine at a 5% and the others at a 0. Jackson put up a huge effort for this championship, but because he dropped out of that race, he ended up 37th, and that pulls Jackson out of a championship position. That pulls Brock out of a championship position. And this leaves 2. And I thought it would be Fitzwater and Jackson, but it ends up being Fitzwater and Constantine. Constantine, though, seemingly does not have a chance at this championship. It seems like it's all going to go Fitzwater's way, and we will be seeing Zachary Fitzwater Sr. in the 1 next season. Which, Jackson put up a huge effort, but things happen, and congratulations, James Constantine, for winning at Paris. Very impressive performance. Through all that, he wasn't able to even get close. No one, ever since Las Vegas, no one has even gotten close to Fitzwater's laps led at 155. He led 17% of the laps so far this season. Going into Yas Marina, which is a coveted event, the biggest event of the season, other than Mid-Ohio. And pretty much congratulations, Zachary Fitzwater, for winning the championship. It's got to be a long shot. What's got to happen is lap 1, Fitzwater has to drop out of the race. Lap 1, end up out of the points, no laps led, and Constantine's got to get the full 120 points. That will win him the championship by 1 point. Because Fitzwater's going to get the pole for being in the points lead, he will get the extra 5 points, leading it to 114, which means if he leads it all, it will be a 1 to 6 point gap, depending on how it goes. So literally, Constantine has to win the championship. 100%, he has to win the race. And that is a long shot. But he won it last season. So you can never count out a man like James Constantine. And in his last season, he could win the championship. But it's a long shot. We'll see you guys at the last event in Yas Marina. The end of it all. The end of the championship. Oh, it's been a great season, but it feels like it's about to come to an end. Congratulations to those two going into the final round as the only 2 left in the championship. Bad luck for Paul Jackson dropping out right when he was close to winning the championship. And we wish you all the best of luck in Yas Marina and in Season 3. We'll see you at Yas Marina, the final round of the season. Ciao.